Hello.
Good morning and
Good
afternoon for
morning.
the East Coast.
Yes. Hi. I know Garish is actually in India. Sylvia's joining. She's in California. Ooh,
Wow.
yay, 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 yay. Yeah, surprisingly enough, I actually get a lot of people from India asking me about chakras and Reiki.
That is so awesome. I've been following all your success and everything that you're doing to touch your audience and connect with community. And I'm just so, so impressed. And I just want to take a moment to tell you how proud of you that I am
Oh
and
my
how
gosh.
honored I am to be joining you today.
Ooh,
It's
thank
been
you,
such a
April.
full circle from the day that we met well, we probably met before the sound bath at some point, but like I just remember connecting with you many years ago on the beach, and you were like, "Yeah, I want to do Reiki, and I want to get into life coaching, and I want to do all this." And I'm like, "I totally see that for you," and here you are.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You were a huge part of my awakening and the beginning of my journey back to home and back to my true being. And it was really a spiritual awakening. And I was at a low point in my life about 5 years ago. And I remember you gave me a reading at the Rose Bowl pendulum. I'm with your pendulum. And I was like, this is so cool. Like I was just immediately like drawn to you, right? And I thought it was so you were on point. You said like my heart and my root were blocked, and I was like, oh wow, like that's really interesting. And it took another year before I ran into you again, and I really believe that was because I had to do a lot of inner work before I
Mm.
could be in alignment with this path and of being a healer. So I really had to start doing the work within first.
The
Yeah.
Great Awakening, when
Yes.
it calls you, and we just need to, I deeply honor that part of you that just listened, first of all, instead of like fighting it. But we all have these different layers of awakening.
Mhm.
I'm going through another one
Yes.
right now. Has
So
anyone else
excited.
been feeling some really intense, weird ass energy this week?
Yes. Yes, I have. Well, Mercury retrograde, when did that start?
Not sure on that, but it actually I have a lot of Mercury in my chart, so I do pretty well during retrogrades.
Mm,
So if you're looking at it from an astrological point of view, just take a look at the amount of Mercury in your chart and just see like, oh, I'm sure there's astro heads on your in your community on your live that can even chime in for this one and just be
for
like, oh
sure.
yeah, like that's just an influx of yin energy. And actually, I feel like you do well with that too.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dina. Yeah, so earplugs for the
Oh, so
soul.
she said, I think that we're in the pre-shadow.
Okay.
Earplugs for the soul. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. My vision has been really blurry too, she
Oh,
said.
and then okay, yes. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, it's
that's
been
funny. I get blurry vision sometimes too.
yeah. And that's really interesting because we're talking about the third eye today. And it's just like universe really aligns because I really did not schedule these calls based on the chakra, but every person that has like landed on each chakra is perfect for that one. And third eye is really like, whoa, that opened for me. You helped me open that up. And I'm so grateful for you and just this journey.
I'm still discovering, like, as a teacher and instructor, I'm always learning also, and so it really has been a journey of expansion for me as well. So and I cannot wait to talk third eye stuff with you. So I mean, I'm happy to just jump right in,
Let's do it.
because
Yes.
the third eye is really all about expansion, and creativity, imagination. And a lot of times, look, our whole system is a creative force. Like, we're so interconnected, and all the chakras being in balance and aligned. And by the way, alignment is balance. I'm getting ahead of myself, but
Mhm.
uh, opening the third eye has been a real journey for us both. And there are always different layers of decalcification that we're going through to our third eye is known as our like pineal gland or third eye pine cone. So if you see little pine cones, like you'll see the little third eye jewelry people sell and different things representing the third eye, but usually it's a pine cone, which is weird to think about as your third eye.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the shape of the gland that's all the way back in the center of your brain. When it's calcified, it's considered closed. So we're in a really unique time of awakening on this planet where we have different layers that are coming right off that are because it's time for collectively for us to wake up. So the energies that are coming in and have been since 2012, since our big massive collective shift, have been working on decalcifying our whole system, including our third eye. Third eye is also for animals, our magnetic north. Like, so I gave myself a little blessing this morning to activate my own third eye for this call. And you can totally do the same, do the same thing anytime you need to feel like you want to focus on opening that area. Anyway, we have been naturally guided to do this with the energies that are coming in. Collectively, we're also going through a shift into divine feminine, which is harnessing our creative force to continue that opening. Now, normally, like when we have our spinal column really open, our Sushumna, for example, in Kundalini yoga, the goal is to move the Kundalini up the spine, open up the crown space, passing through the third eye, activating your meridians, and then unifying in the crown space, and then kind of exploding out your crown into enlightenment. We have a couple stages to get through to get there, but it's kind of happening for us without all the Kundalini energy right now. So, and even like students in my classes now, you took my Reiki years ago, but students are getting activated with their Kundalini energy too. And that's also going to be helping you to remove any kind of blockages that are there. But there are lots of things that we can do in the meantime that aren't necessarily like, oh, well, I'm just going to go have a full spontaneous Kundalini activation awakening. Plenty of things we can do to start to open that naturally. One of the funny things that I like when I was thinking about it, a lot of like I was watching some of your other videos too, and there's like food recommendations and different. I love the food recommendations, by the way. That's so awesome. And if you guys haven't checked out those other videos with the food recos, like the lemons for the solar plexus, I was like, oh my god, I eat lemons every day.
Yes.
I was thinking, giving it some thought for what I wanted to talk about for the Ajna chakra. And it's not like we can just go eat an eggplant, like, because it's purple, and we're just going to be like, oh, and I had an awakening through, like, my tiki masala. And you're like, no. But I think that there are things that you can do specifically that will vibrationally open you up. And one of them, I instruct meditation, and I wrote a couple books on it, and I really am big into that and talking to clients about that integration piece when we're going through our transformation. We need to get vibrationally on the same page with what we're trying to do, and our body is always last to catch up. Like we anchor in a new vibration, our body has to really embody that until we can get to the next level. So third eye meditations, I think, are probably going to be our best bet, other than, I can't even think of another purple food. Can you?
Amy talks about the wild blueberries for the
Okay, wild blueberries are actually awesome because they're a low glycemic index too, which I'm doing keto right now, so it's like perfect.
You've been on that for a while.
But vibrationally speaking, so like for me, for example, within the past 2 years, like I've cut out all kind of recreational beverages, adult beverages.
Okay.
For myself, like alcohol, I haven't touched vibrationally in a long time, and absolutely no judgment for anyone who's listening or for who likes their grape drink in the evening. Believe me, because I have been there. but like vibrationally, my body has required different things of me now to be
Mm-hmm.
in a spot where I can anchor in the new energies that are really coming forward, that want to open your third eye naturally. We want to be in that place of awakening. And I think like 2020, what a fantastic time. We're going to be having first contact in the next few years. By the way, aliens, great way to open your
Yes.
third eye. Start connecting with them. Start going to Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Go get yourself out in nature. I mean, look, if you're in New York, you can go to upstate New York. There's some beautiful places up there. Connecting in nature is another, way that we can start to get those vibrations in there that are going to be cleansing for us naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's been working for you,
Yeah.
and how maybe you're feeling, like what the energies that have been present for you, especially like this year versus even last year, or I mean 2017, 2018 were really big years too.
For
Those were like
sure.
massive awakening years.
Oh my gosh, like it's been a definitely huge ride, but I am like so plugged into the work, my inner work, my soul's journey, that I knew I had to like undo and discover and unravel a lot of things within myself before I could really even fully show up for others. And that includes my clients, that includes a partnership, right? A relationship. And so like throughout these last 5 years has been huge for me, because starting from 2015, just like what you said, my awakening started because of me really building the community and getting out in nature. I was like hiking every single weekend, and like just getting more into into alignment with the people and the communities that I really truly enjoyed being around, and really held me in a supported and safe space. And then when I was able to have that foundation for myself, I also have to mention, like during that time, I did drink less. I like kind of cut out drinking. I was like vegan, like fully vegan for a
Oh,
good
I remember
while.
that.
Yeah. And
You
coming,
made you had some delicious meal choices there though.
yes. And I think like for me, I'm still very much plant-based. Just that coming back to New York, I had a calling from my ancestors and within myself. I think it was during our cacao ceremony that you invited me to, actually, and we went around and we talked about what was showing up for us, and our what our guides were telling us. And my grandfather came in the picture and in the space, and we weren't like super close. He passed when I was pretty young, but he's the only grandfather or grandparent that's not with us in this lifetime anymore. So I had an inkling to really go back to the East Coast to be around my mother and my parents, and kind of heal those parts of myself. And with that, I had to adjust and acclimate and transition once again. So that's when I like kind of started doing more um, of the physical material like world work, if that makes sense. um because I had that like the spiritual roots and that awakening within me. I just had to come back and like and put it into action in real life. And so the past couple of years have been a little bit of that. And now this year, it's like I feel it. I feel like it's it's going to be huge. It already is. But I know that it's not going to be easy either.
Well, new levels of consciousness, if I may, and thank you so much for sharing that story, are always accompanied by a transformation that's running in the background, and new levels. Like we can only perceive the vibration that we're already at.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're upshifting, we're looking at new things in our field. We're needing to use a lot more discernment.
Mm-hmm.
We're needing to lean into ourselves for trust. Like, can I trust what's happening here? Can I trust myself in these new vibrations? And we are opening up new paradigms for ourselves and new blueprints that we can like step into. And this is what's been going on with humanity right now, but this is what's been going on individually first, because it happens individually. And like so many vibrational shifts that will open you up to different dimensions, to different lifting the veil so you can communicate with your ancestors. Especially in ceremony, but ceremony is also like a permission slip to access those energies. Now, what I want to say on the ascension energies is it is very closely tied to our third eye, and it's closer than we think. We're just a few vibrational wavelengths away. It's not like this unachievable thing, like, oh, when I have my third eye fully open, I'm going to be seeing through walls, and things are going to be really happening in a different way. There's different levels of perception anytime you shift consciousness, is what I want to say about that today. And Absolutely. We are shifting.
Yeah. So let's you
can also expect like improved well, actually, one thing I do want to say is improved memory, and also, if I may use my French on this, shittier memory, because and what I'm seeing it for myself is that like I need to know when I need to know things. I know them when I need to know them. That's about when we're moving into synchronistic. And the third eye is all about intuition, right? And so this is activating for our third eye when we are actually when we're accessing the synchronistic memory. How do we do that? Anyone want to take a guess?
Yeah, anyone?
So it's not necessarily even something we have to like try to do, which is a cool thing. It's happening for us if we are in a vibration that allows for the synchronicities. You know, I love channels. I love Abraham Hicks. I love Bashar. I love Kyra, even though she probably prefers to think of herself as less of a channel and more of like this a spiritual leader and conduit. But like the information that's coming through right now is very clear on Wendy Kennedy's a good one too, and Tom Kenyon on her Pleiadian. So if anybody watches Gaia TV, totally turn into Wendy Kennedy, but tune into her. But the message is the same, whether we're receiving it from the Pleiadians or whether we're just like experiencing it in our 3D body and we're like, oh my goodness, I can't remember this basic fact. And then you're in the situation and you're like, all this stuff just comes forward for you. And it's only the stuff that you need to know. Because the reality is that time doesn't exist and we're functioning in an ever-present now. Now, how does that affect our intuition? The ability to potentially see and use our vision into the future, or even viewing our past. We're the only people that keep our stories alive. So we're the only people that actually have those memories. I don't know if you've heard about Mandela effect. This is a whole other
totally.
Of course you have. So I mean, like for the people who are tuning in, like Mandela effect. Actually, there's a really terrible Netflix on it right now.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it's so funny. Just like get some plants with you for the evening. Watch it. It's a great night.
It's terrible though?
It's a terrible movie. Yeah, it's terrible. But it's really funny because it's so terrible. It's about the Mandela effect. And I think it's like aptly titled Mandela Effect. If anybody has seen it, please chime in. It's I would say it's a classic, but
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Funny.
I'm not a huge like movie buff, like like the things in the no, totally. I'm telling you, like things in like the physical, like 3D world, I have never been like, I wouldn't say never, but I'm less inclined to be attracted to those things. But I love like documentaries and like metaphysical things, and
the metaphysical thing. You'll love this then, because it gets a little trippy. It starts talking about quantum timelines. When we're in our third eye, that's what we're doing. I mean, like they would say if your third eye, like for example, is out of balance, like you might experience poor memory or like amnesia or something. But in this case, we're moving timelines, and this is why we're actually healing through past timelines. And every second, you have the ability to switch timelines, if you will. Like this, even when we started this call versus till now, we've already jumped like several.
Yeah.
And we can do this consciously, and maybe that's a good third eye exercise for you to start to tune into, to like really open things up there. I mean, for the people who are interested in that, last year I did host a little challenge over the summer, the two cup jump challenge. And it was like filling one, okay, starting with 2 cups and filling one and labeling it. Like I had my little stickies and I put it on the cup and said current reality. And then I had another one for future reality, that whatever I'm calling in for the day. So like, let's say I wanted to, I would drop into my third eye, right? Drop into my meditation. And I wanted to have like I have more space in my schedule. Let's just say I want more space today. So I would do that in the morning. I would visualize myself. Like, I didn't have to be a whole visualization. I would just say, okay, I'm going to have more space. That feels like I can breathe again. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Very simple. And I don't have another cup here, but just imagine there's a cup. Then I would pour that into the other cup and I would drink my medicine. That's literally shifting timelines for us when we consciously place our focus there. And so when we are in our third eye, intending to move to a place, it only takes our focus to get us there, which is really incredible if you think about it. And because we're unlimited and we're also creators.
I'm so so excited about this topic. So I started doing like an ancestral healing ritual that's kind of like similar to that. I chant this mantra, and then with the mala beads, and you can either have just a cup of water and put the intention in the water, drink half of it, and then put half of it in a plant or something in your home, or you can do 1 bowl of water and scoop it into the other bowl as you're chanting, so the intention is going in there.
Oh, water holds intention like nothing else. That's such a beautiful ritual. I love that.
Yes. And like, just like, oh my gosh, I love this. Do you have time? Can we keep going?
I have a few minutes. I think probably maybe like 5 or so.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can talk on and on about the movies like, The Matrix, Inception, like Interstellar, because those type of movies, I'm like, that's actually happening. It's not fake. And like you're saying, just
what about Doctor Strange? Did you watch that one?
I didn't actually. I
should. I literally just watched it because I didn't know about it, but it's totally about the timeline work, and it's like astral travel and projecting yourself into, and this guy like heals through all these things. He started out like a real jerk, we'll just say that, and then he had all this stuff happen to him in his life, like he had an injury, and then he like healed through all these timeline things. It was cool.
Yes, I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, his character really bothered me though for a little while, because he was like just, I mean, you see that in humanity too.
Yeah.
When we're doing our light work, we see humanity like not keeping itself up to its standards, that like just some people really buy into the Matrix world. Yes. And so it can be really jarring. That's another thing, we have to keep ourselves out of isolation from that. Sorry to like go down a rabbit hole with that.
No worries. I would say, okay, I have, before you leave, and maybe we can have another conversation about this, but I mean, I've been doing the work. I practice Reiki now, and I know that I can see things for people before they happen. I haven't quite been able to manage and use that to, I serve in coaching because I'm able to see people's potentials before that happens and actualizes. But there's also like, not necessarily bad things that are going to happen, but things within their relationship, or things that like, I know their life path is supposed to look a different way, or that like, this is what's going to happen to get them there. But I can't tell them without them, wanting it and asking for it, right? So that's my third eye being activated, but like, how do I manage it? Because some people might not want to hear it. And then I'm like, oh, I got to bite my tongue and like, just continuing witnessing what's going on for them in their process, but not being able to like help them through it.
I feel like I get that a lot when I'm in sessions with people and working, you do such intimate work with people as well. So it's, you know, you have that connection established, and that is almost what allows us to pick up on those things. So once you, like, that's mediumship 101, which I also like could do a whole course on. And I have taken courses on it in the past, but I also, fun fact, I used to actually work for a psychic hotline. So
I didn't know that.
I
Love
know,
it.
nobody really does. So it's like so embarrassing, so I don't talk about it. Anyway, the connection has been established, so you're able to receive that information, which is your third eye being totally activated, and the information is coming from a multiple areas when it's like shared. It's, you know that it's what you need to know. So if you're receiving, in general, these are the guidelines. If you're receiving that kind of information, it's information that your person needs to know. And it's not really for us to judge on whether it's a need to know basis for them. It's just our job to be messenger. And so for me, I've been really clear with people when things come through and say, hey, you know, I have a question around your mother. Like, how is that relationship? And I open it up for them to talk about it. And then I'll say, like, look, barring me seeing catastrophic events or something, which I actually don't see for people, I'll just see, I don't see so much future-based, but I'll get information like that all the time. It comes through. And I'll just say, look, this is what came up for you today. It may not make any sense right now. And it may make sense for you later, or this may be something that you're integrating like in the background. So I want to present this information to you, and just let you kind of feel into what resonates for you right now. Because we can accept or reject anything we want from our field. Everything is a story. Yes. And in our story, we get to choose what's here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say err on the side of, like, I tell people what's going on and like what I'm seeing, and just let them know, like, hey, these things can change, but this is in your field right now. And like, just as my responsibility to them. And because sometimes we think we're being responsible, and this is the truth, right? Sometimes we think we're being responsible by like shielding or like not like giving all the information. And I'm sure the people who are tuning in that like do oracle and readings and stuff like that are like, oh, okay, yeah, I mean, I guess it's better to know. Yeah, I would say keep the human filter out of it entirely, and just say, this is what I've been presented with. This is always a good sign, because we're receiving information through our third eye literally all day. We have a lot of information coming through. So then it becomes discernment. You also want to discern, like, what is mine, and what is the other person's. Right now we have a lot of energy coming in that facilitates us as empaths, and especially as sensitive types. You receiving inputs from everyone all day. And so you have to determine, like, what is yours. And once you determine what is yours and what is someone else's, then you can jump into, like, giving them the pieces that they need to evolve. And maybe those conscious pieces look like, this is what I saw, or maybe they look like a translation of, like, as unfiltered as possible, a translation of their medicine that's going to be helping them.
Oh, I love that. Yes. I think in the 3D realm, it's like I'm not speaking my truth if I'm not being honest and open about what I know inherently. And it's scary because I think some of it, I believe, might even it might break relationships, my personal like friendships or relationships.
But remember, those relationships that aren't strong enough to withstand frequency changes, you have to keep moving up to evolve in your frequency. So you know that anything that dissolves away naturally, not supposed to be there. And everything's temporary. If you want to revisit the relationship, let's say it's a family member, you can do that with a healthy boundary in place. And you know that. I mean, we know about boundaries, girl. Like, you know.
I've done a lot of work with that, and I have cut off relationships these years. So
as have I.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I have a new relationship. But you know what? It's the most magnificent thing I've ever experienced, truly. And I have been able to receive that because of my work that I've done on my own vibrational levels. And a lot of that had to be done in solitude. That doesn't mean you need to do that in solitude. You can meet someone amazing while you're in the vibration of experiencing someone else and be like, oh, okay, no, this is what I want. And just continue to upgrade. For me, I hadn't taken a break in a long time relationship wise, for like, 16 years, 20 years, whatever it was. So then I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a nice long break. And it was a couple of years, and I had just been literally doing activational work, women's circles, women's retreats, like everything you can do to work on yourself. I'm a Taurus moon, so I was like self-care. And it felt really good. And it felt good to say no with those boundaries of people who were coming into the field, because there's a lot of male energy that's like very attracted to the feminine uprising, female energy right now, because they have healing to do. So chances are, like, you have to discern, is this a fit for me as a partner, or are they coming to me for my medicine to be healed?
Yes. Oh, I've definitely experienced that. So much of that.
Because you know what, like, at the end of the day, we could be someone's mother all day.
Yeah.
And that's not what our job is as a partner. Our job as a partner, as you know, is having an equal who's there to support you. And I don't know how many people are listening that are like, oh yeah, my partner is totally conscious and woke. I don't know a lot of women who have a lot of divine masculine presence that are, hey Jess, that are totally woke. Hi,
Lindsay.
And just feeling like in being able to serve their feminine counterpart. So for us as empaths and leaders and conscious women, we really need to use our discernment, and that's going to come through opening our third eye, leaning into our intuition, checking in with yourself, like when you meet someone, am I going for them for attraction? Like, okay, great, it's nice to have an attractive partner. And is this person giving me more than surface? Can I reach this person vibrationally? Like, do we come from the same cosmic fabric? Like, is that what
I
we're
love? With? Yes, I'm calling that in, and constantly just checking in and reevaluating. And that's been a process too. And I've been like triggered. I've met people and men that have triggered the past old me. And it's like the universe is testing me, like, have you really risen to your true worth, to your higher self?
So my advice is to continue to say no to anything that is less. This may sound so simple, but if I hadn't done this like really important piece, there were some really attractive options for me. I had a shaman option. He's not listening right now, so I can talk about it. But
yeah,
maybe he is. I had like different options that were really attractive to my ego. My ego was like, oh my gosh, like if I could just make this one work, that would be so fantastic.
Yep.
When I actually got myself into a place of alignment with my own relationships and my attachment styles and all the things, I was like, it was very clear to me and my third eye that I was not exactly, even at a I'm going to try to do this again, developmental, thanks April, point in my process for me to say no to the wrong choices and say yes to love. Yeah. And so anything that is outside of your vibration, again, you shouldn't really be seeing at all. But if there's someone that's coming into your vibration, you may be their medicine. So that's my biggest, the biggest takeaway is that you're going to be medicine for the right person no matter what, and they're going to be your medicine. But you want to have that equal flow of like, we're both giving our medicine versus, and you have to keep building those boundaries and saying no to all the wrong things.
And that's what a conscious relationship is, right?
Keep making the right choices. It's how we build anything. It's how we build a healthier body for ourselves. Like in that moment when I want chicken nuggets, I mean, okay, I get it. There's vegans listening. Okay, oh my God, you're a mess. I've actually been vegan all week, but like, I'm
I
just
love
like, because
you.
I've been shifting out of so many vibrations. Chicken isn't really my thing right now, but it used to be for me, like my guilty. I paid like, oh my god, I had a really like rough day, like, or like I taught all day. I need grounding. Give me some fucking nuggets. Like I would just, so that's my body though asking for a different vibration.
Totally, yeah.
But also we need to make good choices for ourselves. So just continue to make the good choices for yourself in little ways to build all the things that you want to build. And it's just little things every single day. So you may not need to like go eat an eggplant to be psychic tomorrow, but you can certainly choose to spend some time checking in. Just do a third eye check-in. Tap your third eye. When I'm in plant medicine ceremony too, another hot tip before we go, because I know I'm just like, I want to get all my tips out before I leave. But when I have something important come up for me, I actually put it in my third eye. It's been my habit. So I go, oh, okay, because I know my synchronistic memory is going to kick on. So I put it in here and I tap this place. Mm-hmm. Also, this is our magnetic north, which is always pointing us in the right direction. Mm-hmm. So like as animals, and I mean, we're all just a bunch of animals, but really we're heading in the direction where our compass points, right? Mm-hmm. And so putting the things that will navigate you there into your navigation system is how we program ourselves. Absolutely. So just think of it that way.
For sure. And like this is our cerebral cortex, which is like where transformation occurs, because everything behind our skull is where like the ancestral, like primal stuff is happening. But now as we're rising and elevating in consciousness and vibration, like we are transforming right here. It's all here.
Oh yeah, our body's going to change too in a few I don't know how many years, like a couple hundred, but the grays are a future version of us, and they have what do they have? They have really big eyes, they have really big heads. We're all going to be gray, so there's not going to be skin color.
Love it.
And I know, like, but we also do have a severe muscle atrophy, just FYI. So get your like workouts in now. Because because the grays, they're actually, so when we have visitations from the grays, like I know you universal people who are tuning in.
For sure.
Now, like,
girl, oh my gosh.
Magnificent child of the universe. I just want to Instagram, and I know you know what I'm talking about.
I want to tell you something though. My dad is actually really into, like, he's very spiritual in another way. And he was telling me about Area 51 and how his friend was like worked there and was only allowed to monitor the first 3 floors, but it's like it goes like 15 floors underground, and that they received like technology and computers and internet from there, not Earth. Like it came from there, and they're like coming out from the oceans, like not even the sky, these spaceships and UFOs. We're going off on a tangent, but it's not the idea.
I love this tangent that we're going on, and I totally feel all the Lemurian and Atlantean energy, and we're receiving a lot of those codes from the ocean now. And we don't even need the ships, because the water comes from the ocean, and then it travels, and then it rains. So every time it rains, we're actually getting a dispensation of coded energy that's in the water, that's coming from deep Lemuria. So it's super cool. Shayla and Shane say, my entire life they've come to me. Yes. Oh yeah. And I'm here for this energy. Atlantic Ocean codes are in the wake right now. Mm-hmm. And I would say for us, I mean, on the East, wow. I was born on the East Coast. On the West Coast, we do receive a lot of the Lemurian codes here because our weather patterns are that way. The ships are all around us. If you go into the portal places, which I was in a portal wormhole last year talking about opening my third eye. I mean, every retreat that I had, we had ships coming in to visit us. Sometimes they look like clouds. Sometimes they do come from water. Sometimes the beings are just right there with you. And a lot of times the frequency is so high that we actually have our fight or flight kick on, and we want to run. Mm-hmm. It's scary. Mm-hmm. It feels like an energy or presence, because it is, and it's so vibrationally different than us right now. So as you see that we are increasing our vibrations, as we continue to open up our third eye, as we continue to do this ascension pattern with what's happening with the energy that's coming in, you're going to see new forms coming in, and our body is going to change, and our experience of what we're able to perceive is going to be changing. And I would say the intention is really key to hold here too. Like, keep that vision for yourself, because this is a third eye activation in this moment, right? Of us focusing on the third eye and allowing our perception to expand.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So I'm just going to give that blessing for all of the people who are tuning in or hearing this at a later time, or whoever is watching. Just know that this time in this moment that you are experiencing it, you're able to receive. And so that's my blessing for this call, just to wind things down, is like actually sending energy to anyone who's tuning in here, to be able to magnetically activate your north, your true north, and open up, perceive new things this year, step into new timelines for yourself, create expansion, create evolution, and create your experience from the depths of your soul, so that we can manifest that into heaven on earth, and we can all benefit.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm receiving your blessings, and thank you so much.
That's up. If you do want to go check out any books about your chakras, or you want to learn more about your chakras, you can hit me up personally, drop into a meditation class at Unplug in Santa Monica, and you can buy Chakra Balance on Amazon. It's actually really, really amazing because it's so little. You can put stuff on it like crystals, and it looks pretty on your table, and you can learn a lot about
I have both of yours. Essential Chakra
meditation. That's a good one. I'm also working on a new book,
which
is going to address I didn't tell you this, but it's addressing all of your chakras above your crown space. So we're going into, it's a channeled piece of literature, because there's a lot of conflicting information from like different, like Vedic tradition versus like Western, and it's all a big mess. So I'm going to be channeling for this one, and going from some of my like Pleiadian resources. So we'll have all of the chakras addressed, the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. We also have Earth Star Chakra, which is below your feet, connecting us to Gaia. So we have a lot going on there energetically, and I'm really excited to get that work out to the world.
Ah.
Hasta luego.